Wet Bear. Barnaby Bear stood on the doorstep feeling cold and damp. What a day to be left out in the rain. How could they have forgotten that he'd been in the garden? It just wasn't fair. He was still standing there gazing out at the rain when Teddy George came into the kitchen. "Oh dear," he said. "What happened to you?" "I was out in the garden and I fell asleep," said Barnaby. "Nobody took me in when it started raining, and I'm so wet and cold. How can I get warm and dry?" "The best thing to do is run around," said George. "That always warms you up." Barnaby Bear began to run up and down the kitchen. "Like this?" he puffed as he passed George for the 5th time. "Yes, that's the way," said George. But just as he said it, Dog came through the door and collided with Barnaby. They both landed in a heap. "Why were you running?" asked Dog. "To keep warm," said Barnaby. "Oh, you'd do better to wrap up in something," said Dog. Dog and Teddy George fetched an old sheet and wrapped Barnaby up in it. "Do you feel warmer now?" they called. The sheet had been a rather large one, and they couldn't actually see Barnaby any more. "I feel warmer," came the muffled reply, "but I can't see where I'm going." And he staggered across the room, trying not to trip over his feet. Hearing all the muffled voices, Little Bear came trotting in through the door. He shrieked when he saw a lumpy, flapping sheet staggering across the room towards him. "A ghost! A ghost!" he cried, and rushed to hide behind Teddy George. "No, it's all right," called the ghost. "It's only me, Barnaby. I'm trying to wrap up to keep warm. I got wet in the garden." "Why don't you just jump up and down?" said Little Bear. "But not dressed up as a ghost," he added. "All right," said Barnaby, throwing off the sheet and jumping up and down. "You're right. I am getting warmer, but I can't keep doing this till my fur's dry." "No," said Teddy George, "you can't. You're making the plates rattle. I tell you what, I saw a hot water bottle at the back of this cupboard one day. I could fill it with warm water from the tap. That will warm you up." Teddy George rummaged about and found the old hot water bottle. He took it to the tap and filled it with warm water. "There," he said to Barnaby, "feel that." A happy smile spread across Barnaby's face as he hugged the warm hot water bottle close to his fur. "Oh, it's lovely," he said. "Thank you, Teddy George." Then the smile slowly left his face. "George," he said slowly and thoughtfully, "I think I know why nobody uses this hot water bottle anymore. It leaks." He carefully laid the hot water bottle on the ground and looked down at his fur. It was wetter than ever, warm and wet this time. "Oh, no," chorused the others. "Newspaper," said George. "That's what we need." Dog rushed off and returned with the newspaper. "Now," said George, opening up the newspaper, "you lie on that, Barnaby, and we'll roll you up in it. Newspaper keeps you warm and dry." With the help of the others, Teddy George rolled Barnaby up in the newspaper until he looked like a sausage roll. "Now what?" said Barnaby, with only his head sticking out of the newspaper roll. "Now we wait," said Teddy George, sitting down. "You can't leave me like this," wailed Barnaby. "We'll let you out when you're dry," said Dog. "But I want to get out now," said Barnaby, rolling around the floor like a cross rolling pin. He tripped Little Bear, who fell onto Dog, and then they all bumped into George. Soon there was a great heap of toys in the middle of the floor. Barnaby wriggled out of the newspaper and out from under the heap. He looked at Dog with his feet in the air and George with Little Bear sitting on his middle, and he began to laugh. He laughed and laughed. "Do you know," he said, "all that rolling around has completely dried my fur, and laughing is a wonderful way to warm up. Oh, I think I shall know what to do now, if I ever get left out in the rain again."